to Ethan Live. Today is Tuesday, August the 4th. All the days
Yes,
have been running together. Happy
just likely.
Tuesday. How are you? How did you spend your morning?
I was on a Zoom with Jefferson County. I really know how to have a good time when I get home,
Man, stop,
spent,
stop it.
spent 2.5 hours on one Zoom trying to wait for David Watkins' case. And then he gets up there and they said, "Oh, he has a summons." And they were like, "Oh, take him over there." So he steps off to the side and they said a date would be determined. So I don't know what the summons is for.
So he had another charge of some kind that they were.
They said summons. So there, that was the words they used, was that there was an unanswered summons.
Okay.
So,
All right.
so
Sounds
I guess
like
I'll have to go back
he
online
had
later and
something.
see what they did. But yeah, that was my morning. How about you?
I was finishing running some errands because of yesterday, but I can get into that. I do want to. Today
Yeah.
is National Chocolate Chip Cookie Day.
Oh, that's a good one for you.
Mm-hmm. It is Hooray for Kids Day,
Oh,
International Clouded Leopard Day, National Night Out, National White Wine Day.
huh.
National! It is U.S. Coast Guard birthday. Shout out to the Coast Guard for they've
Coast
won
Guard.
a
For,
Hero
yeah,
Dog
for
Award,
their, thank
and
them for their service.
it is Assistance Dog Day.
Oh, okay. Assisted?
Assistance celebrated
Oh, okay.
August the 4th, recognizing the profound impact these highly trained canines have on the lives of individuals with
Oh,
disabilities,
well,
and guiding the visually impaired to
definitely.
alert to medical emergencies. Yep. So
Oh,
shout out to
definitely.
them. I just wanted to touch base on. Did we have any other than our update of court today? Um, we were. Let's see. We had Zoom last Thursday, right? I believe, and then
Right,
uh,
right. So it's,
left on Friday. Yeah,
yeah. The only other thing to throw out there about courts that our Phoenix Blue case is up this week. So Chesney Taylor and Christian Barnett will be
that's
in
Friday.
court on the 7th at 9 o'clock in Scott. It's Scott County.
So that's
So
at 9 o'clock.
anybody is near and around there,
Yes, 9 o'clock Friday, August the 7th. If you're close to Scott County, please come out. We had a couple of discussions about that particular case and some folks involved in that
we
case this
did.
weekend. So we left early Friday morning, just a
We
nonstop
did.
flight to Washington, D.C., very early at the airport by 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
Um,
Yep.
So went to that particular animal conference. Got in, took the subway. Thankfully, the conference was a little bit of ways from downtown to get away
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
all the concrete jungle downtown Washington D.C. So there was actually grass. It was kind of in a neighborhood. So that
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
nice.
So that
But it
worked
was
out really nicely for you.
just a short metro transfer away. Not bad at all.
Thankfully, you knew what you were doing. You knew, I mean, I would have been on there going, which color, which line. So I'm glad you knew how to get across there because there were a couple of different changes, obviously. So,
Yep, it
but
turned
you
out.
guided us in the right direction. And Ethan was so good on the metro. He was really well, he travels well everywhere, but he was
Yeah,
really good
he
on
seems
there.
to do well. So we get there, get a little bit of rest in. Thought about doing a couple things before we got set up, but just wanted to give Ethan a little bit more rest. So he got the rest in. Then we set up
Right.
our table there with a lot of other really good uh, vendors and exhibits there at the conference. And
Yes.
we had I don't know if I put it on here. We had I didn't put this one up there. Had a picture of we took a couple pictures of our booth. I think we posted it.
Yeah,
But it was,
may have.
I think it was very popular. People came by. Friday night
Yeah,
there was a
we were very busy.
Friday night was a exception or exhibit hall and reception area that was really packed.
Yeah,
I don't know if this, Ethan. I don't know if this will. So this was a video, and so that
yeah.
probably but that's how loud it was. I just kind of took this video because I thought it was cool to see sort of the exhibit and how loud it was, and Ethan just sort of hanging it. Doesn't really get phased by
No.
doesn't really get phased by much of anything, and that was the typical of the whole weekend, except for the fact most of the time he had someone down there petting him.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah,
Yeah. He was well loved on.
which turned
Yeah.
into a lot of this.
Oh, yeah. Lots of
Lay him on
belly
his back,
rubs.
and then he'd lay next to the table or in front of the table. One time he laid there just like that with the rope in his mouth, not moving, for about 10 minutes. People would come by and they would pet him, and they were like, "See, okay?" And like, "Yeah, he's good."
Yeah.
Having a
Yeah.
good
There was no problem getting people to stop by our booth. That's for sure. I must say, I'm maybe a little biased, but I do believe we were the most popular booth there.
I think so. Yeah, it was
I
a really good time. We
definitely.
met some really good people there. There were a couple
Oh,
sessions we went to. Um, I guess the things that we sort of a couple of the sessions that we saw. How would I? I was trying to think of the best way to describe it, and
mm,
it was sort of like an intro 101
yes. If you've
to
never been
to
in that
something,
class before.
whatever it might have been.
Yeah.
I think that
Yeah.
there is for folks that really want to get in um, depth or really dive deep into the woods. I think there could be a it could be a little misleading by the just kind of scratching the surface kind of things.
Yeah.
But it's really good. I think it's really good connecting with people. Uh, Met a
Hmm.
really nice gentleman that runs Roxy's Coffee down in Florida. That he does fundraisers with some folks. I'm going to connect with him about doing a fundraiser, coffee fundraiser for EAB. Um, we were right next to the Legal Animal Defense Fund. It was wonderful to
Yes,
be
you
able to talk
are.
to those folks. Uh,
Right.
so it was overall really good. I took that video and just wanted to show it there because I think a lot of folks, Ethan goes to a lot of interesting things and a lot of
Yes.
interesting places, and we can say that he handles all that like 100% exactly how you'd want in his like the friendliest and wants to everyone to come over and pet him. But I just wanted to if you don't get to see it, it kind of I don't know. I just think it was kind of cool just to kind of sort of let
No,
people
I'm glad you
people
caught that video. Most of the time we were too busy talking to people. I mean, I failed miserably at getting any pictures, but I did lots of talking. So I hope that helped. That's what
lot
we were
lots
doing.
of lots of talking. To a lot of folks,
Yes.
I think there ended up being when I was talking with someone a little over 600 people that had come. So just when you think we work the table for a while Friday night and then some Saturday.
Uh-huh.
Kind of think we've probably seen everyone that's come through.
No.
Saturday night and Sunday rolls around, and there's some new folks that hadn't stopped by yet. And we had
Right.
some. I think we had some cool things to give away. Thank you
We
so much
did.
to the Happy Heifers and uh,
Yes. Tabby.
Tabby for
Uh-huh.
providing some keychains that have an NFC little tag in there that would take you directly to the website. Um,
Yes, those were a huge hit. People were amazed how they worked. So because they just thought it was a keychain, and they thought that was cool with Ethan's picture on it until they found out it would take you to Ethan's page. So Yeah, those were great. And I think I sent a message to Tabby telling her she made 100 of those for us, and they were all gone.
So yeah, so
All
shout
gone.
out to Tabby and Happy Heifer Creations for doing that. That was very, very kind. If you need anything, like check her out. She makes all kinds of cool stuff.
Yeah,
Check it out. So then we roll around to
she
Sunday,
does.
and we're gonna have some dinner
Oh, the
time.
adventure.
We're gonna have a round table. There were a bunch of round tables that, in one of those I was hosting,
Yeah.
and then pack up things to get ready to
Huh?
go, ship back to Louisville, and then catch a late flight out nonstop. Late flight
Right.
back to Louisville and get back in town Sunday evening, um, and somewhere around 1 o'clock. Would you say?
Two. Yeah, yeah, between 1 and 2, because we had just finished well, you were just finishing your roundtable discussion when I got the alert. So it was yeah.
So get an alert
But-
that our flight that evening is canceled because of air traffic control.
Mhm.
And I'm not really necessarily sure what that means.
I
But
didn't either.
but then realized that sort of led to some other problems, which I'll fully admit some of those were completely my fault. So when I left, as you all know, Ethan is on seizure medication, and when I left, I grabbed a bottle of seizure medication. We got several of them sitting there that sounded like it was almost full. So I didn't think there was a need to count it out. I grabbed it, shook it, seemed full, throw it in the backpack, throw the CBD in there, throw some food in there, and I measured out enough food to last us. Friday night, Saturday morning, put it all in there,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden we don't have a flight Sunday night.
No.
And
And we got canceled again. Well, we did
well,
get another
well,
flight, and
before
then
we
it
got to
got
that,
canceled. Yeah.
I didn't realize until that Sunday morning that that was all the medication I had was Sunday morning.
Yeah.
And so then we run into no flight,
Yeah.
no medication,
Mm-hmm.
uh, no hotel room,
Nope.
no dog food.
No. And it's pouring down rain,
So
which
we're
will
so
come
we're
into the story later.
so we're coming. We're in the midst of taking down the booth, trying to
Hmm.
figure out how to get. Most important thing of all that was the medication. So we're trying how to
Yes.
figure out how to get this medication, and it was between. I called a vet down in Washington D.C. I called an emergency vet. We looked up a vet that was attending the conference. We talked to another vet that was uh, participating in the conference that we had talked to several different times, who was helping us out with several different things. That was Dr. Sai, who every time
Yeah.
she came by, she wanted to get a picture with Ethan. She was very nice. She practices in Los Angeles. Um, so, so it'll be surprise to no one that Dr. Emily Bewley came through, and so we
Mhm.
got some medication for Ethan. So we realized, okay, we got the medication, but this was after an hour and a half of trying to figure out how to do this and making calls to people and waiting for people to call back and try to figure out
Right.
what's going on. And
Right.
we even were contemplating calling some of the local shelters to see if we could get some medication. So finally, we get the
Oh,
medication thing.
everything.
We get the medication thing straightened out, and
Uh-huh.
then we get a text that says they've rebooked us on a flight the next morning.
Right.
So
7 a.m. ish flight early.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so double check to make sure that they have Ethan and I in the right seats. Everything seems to be good. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
so then we only need to find out food, which is not a big deal. We can run and get some food from a local store, but we have no hotel room, and so we at that point we're trying to figure that out. And we have 3 or 4 people from the conference who are trying to help us with that. Very, very nice. Dawn,
Yes.
Hannah, and Cheryl, all trying to help us with that particular piece of it. But in the
Yes.
meantime, so we thought we had that worked out. We thought,
We
okay,
did.
they've reached out to the hotel, everything's good. All you'll need to do is recheck back in.
Uh-huh.
No big deal.
We
So
thought.
we go to recheck back in, and when we say that it was taken care of, I was going to call American Airlines back to say, can't you guys pay for a hotel room, because it wasn't our fault that we didn't catch the flight. But since it seemed like it was taken care of by the conference,
Right.
go back up to get rechecked back in, and immediately the person says, "Okay, I need your credit card, for the room and the incidentals." And I said, "No, it's being taken care of. We don't have to pay for it." And she says, "Let me go talk to my manager." So she comes back and she says, "Oh, no, no, you're paying for it." And I said, then hold off. I'll figure something else out. I mean, this lobby is really nice. The couches are comfortable.
Yeah. Yeah,
Uh,
we spent several hours in that lobby that evening.
so then I decided I'll call American Airlines and see if we
Oh,
can get
yes.
this worked out. It doesn't really seem fair. So I call. Uh, Yeah, okay, so I did that. So I called American Airlines, and they said, no,
Uh-huh.
no, it was canceled because of air traffic control. We don't offer vouchers. And I said, I understand it, but this is a sort of a unique situation. Can I talk with someone else? And they're like, yeah, we'll put you through to the manager or
Right.
supervisor. And I said, okay. And then sat there in the lobby on hold
Hmm.
for an
Uh-huh.
hour and 45 minutes.
Right.
Finally,
Right.
I decided, you know what? I'm just going to call back and see if
Uh-huh.
I get someone sooner than that. So I call back, and you get the same person. Of course, they want to try to help your situation, and I'm thinking, I know that you probably can't help me. So I tell them, and they're like, "Yeah, you're right. We can't issue a travel voucher. That wasn't our fault." And I said, "Can I
Right.
talk to a supervisor that won't take an hour and 45 minutes?" And so
On hold.
put us through to a supervisor. And after about 15 minutes,
Mm-hmm.
he comes on and he says, "Hello. I know I talked to my colleague. I know what you're asking, but my answer is no different than them. We cannot offer you a travel voucher. It was closed from uh, air traffic control and not anything that we did." And I said, "Well, it wasn't anything that I did either.
Right.
And like it wasn't anything that I did." And he says, "Well, if it was
Uh-huh.
control, we would have had the flight there." And I said, "I understand it, but I've paid money to American Airlines. I didn't pay money to air traffic control, so I would expect American Airlines to honor what we've got. Like, we've got a ticket."
Uh-huh.
And so I said to him, if I was on the way to the airport, let's say in the morning, to catch a flight, and road construction kept me from getting to the airport, you
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't give me my money back because I didn't make the flight. That would just be my fault that I didn't make the flight, and I would be out the
Right.
money. Well,
Right.
sort of the same thing. Maybe it's not your fault, American Airlines, but people have paid you money, and you should be
Uh-huh.
required to give them something back. So he says that to me. So I said that, and he said, "Sir, I've already told you we can't do it." And so I said, "Hold on, am I talking to AI, or are you a real person?" And he said, "Okay, now you're just insulting me. I'm going to hang up." And I said, "No, no, 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 no. Please, please. I've been on hold over 2 hours. Please don't hang up. I'm just trying to
Right.
figure out who else can I talk to." And he says, "No one. There's no one else to talk to." So I said,
Right.
"Like, there's no other customer service than American Airlines?" "Nope, not in reservations. I'm it." And I said, "There's not another phone number, even if they're not open today, that I can call Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, something like that. I can call them." And he says,
Mm-hmm.
"No, sir, I've already told you, and now I'm going to hang up. I've already answered all your questions." And I said, "I just have one more question. Is you not providing a hotel voucher, is that American Airlines policy or air traffic control policy?" And he said,
Uh-huh.
"I've already answered these questions." To which I said,
Yeah.
"Maybe I'm not misunderstanding. Maybe I'm not comprehending what you're telling me, because I don't remember you answering that. Is it American Airlines
Uh-huh.
policy, or is it air traffic control policy?" And he says, I'm not going to answer that question anymore." So I said to
Yeah.
him, we've done some events that are heavily sponsored by American Airlines, and I've got a couple of cards.
Uh-huh.
I just don't have them with me. When I get home, I'll call those folks. And he said, "So now you're asking for something special?" And I said, "No, no, no. I'm going to call them to ask them for the customer service number. I'm not going to ask them to do
Yeah.
anything special for me. I'm just going to ask them for the phone number that you won't give me." And he says,
Somebody other than Matthew.
well, and so he says, I just want to let you know this phone call has been recorded. I'm attaching it to your reservation, like this was a threat or something. I'm attaching it to your
Yeah,
reservation, and now I'm hanging up. And he hung up.
yeah, he did. And then,
So then, after we get off the phone, then, and I swear, not 5 minutes, I get off the phone with him. Our we get a message that our morning flight is canceled because of weather.
yes, yes, we did. So we were like, okay, now does that change the parameters of what he was saying? Because now it's not air traffic control, now it's weather.
And
So,
I couldn't call back again. Like I was that was my
no,
limit of American Airlines. Oh, well, I did end up calling back because the most important thing at that point is we needed some flights. So I called back.
yes, you had, yes. Well, they scheduled me another flight. That was the thing
Well,
too.
yeah,
Remember
and they
the
had
few
scheduled me another
minutes?
flight, and but they had us in a regular row.
Right,
And so I
right.
called back to say, hey, do you have, like the bulkhead row in that particular flight? And he said no. And I said, do you have anything there? Like, I'll even, if I got to stop 2, 3 times, whatever, what do you have? And he says, can you make your way to Baltimore? So
Yeah,
I
I'll walk.
said,
Just
so I,
give me a little time. I can get there.
so I said, how would I do that? And he said, well, I don't know. That's up to you. So it's funny though, because, uh,
It's funnier now than it
before
was at the time.
I said, "Can you put me through to like the people that can assign bulkhead, like the special assistants?" And they said, "Yes." So when I got on hold there, they said it was one of those that said, "We'll call you back. You'll hold your place in line," which would have been nice the first time, right? So I hold my
Yes,
place in line
really.
as we're. So now I'm waiting for them to call back, and as we do that,
Uh-huh.
there's a family, and you have to understand we're in the lobby of Delta, and
Yes.
all this time while all this is going on, people are still stopping to say hello to Ethan and to get pictures and to ask what kind of
Yeah.
dog he is. And like that part of it never stops. I mean, that is
No, no.
ongoing thing. But I get off the phone and now I'm waiting for them to call back. And a nice family who was on vacation comes in who lives
Right.
in the PRP Valley Station area. They walk by and they're like, oh my gosh, is that Ethan? Like they
Uh-huh.
didn't know we were there. See Ethan in your hotel. So we had a wonderful conversation with them. And as a matter of fact, they said to me, you could take the metro to Union Station and catch the Amtrak there to Baltimore for, 10, $15. So actually, that was probably, until I
What
heard
you
back
were
from
going
that lady, that was probably what I was going to do. Take the subway
right.
to the Union Station and then catch the train to Baltimore and catch a plane from Baltimore. So
Right.
finally, uh, after the horrible experience with the customer service folks at American Airlines, well, I'll say
Yeah.
this: the one person, the other
Yeah.
people were trying to help,
Right.
and they were just limited at what
Right.
they could do. The one
Right.
person, Matthew,
Yeah. Was not so helpful.
uh, a lady calls back who couldn't have been any more helpful and was
Yeah.
very, very nice and was working many things behind the scenes. And so, meanwhile, they have rescheduled Debbie for a flight the next night, Monday
Mm-hmm.
night at 7:30.
Mm-hmm.
But there's no room for Ethan and I on that plane. So she's working on some other things. And eventually, for us, she says, I can get you into Chicago in the morning. You'll get there about 12:30. The only bad thing is the only thing I've got getting you back in is a flight that doesn't leave till 7:30 from
Their
Chicago
time.
to
Central
Louisville.
time.
Yeah, which is 8:30 our time. Uh,
Right.
so that'll bring you back to Louisville late Monday night. Um,
Right.
so we that all of that finally. So at that point it's about 9 o'clock at night.
Yes.
We haven't eaten dinner. I don't have
No.
any food for Ethan.
No.
Uh,
The room situation was still
the
ongoing.
room situation was still ongoing, and finally, another nice lady at the conference stopped by, Elizabeth, who used to work for the organization putting on the conference, and
Uh-huh.
made a few phone calls. And that wonderful lady that helped us out, Cheryl, came up to help us out again, and,
Yes.
and got got a room that helped us out. She even left her room. Uh,
Uh-huh.
So now we think, okay, the room situation is squared away. Um, I can get the we can get some food and some dinner, and like I say, me by this time it's 9 o'clock, right? But at
Yeah.
about 4:20, we realized that the pharmacy closed at 5,
Oh,
and I hadn't
yeah,
picked up the
forgot
med
that part.
because I was waiting to go. It was pouring down rain, so I was waiting for
Yes.
the rain to stop so I could go pick up Ethan's medication
Yeah.
and uh, make a phone call and just to give Dana an update on what's happening. And she
Yeah.
says, "Well, what time does the pharmacy close?" And I'm like,
Yeah.
"I don't know, 9 or 10." And I look at it, 5.
Oh no.
I'm like, "Oh crap!"
No.
So I mean, that tells you how long this had been going on, and it had been going on a couple hours. It started about 1, so about
Yeah.
quarter till 5. We brave the rain, run over, get the prescription, come back. Then we go through all the American Airlines things. Then finally get the room situation squared away. Then
Right.
go over to our choices of restaurants were going to be a couple that we saw that looked pretty good, and we'd eaten at one of them earlier, or McDonald's.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so this one still seemed open. So we go in and they can get us food, but not we can't eat there because it's a it's a private party that's
They're
going.
having a
So
private event.
so he
So we
said you can
have to
order food, and he said I'll put it in a to go thing, and you can sit outside at one of the tables and eat it.
and there was one table. I mean, this was a what would you call those? They were just like tarps over the outside patio where you would eat. But there was one table that was dry under all of that dripping from the tarps. So we found the one dry table because and you didn't you had to give Ethan his meds earlier once you got back from the pharmacy, of course, and you had to give Ethan those with whatever you had a few treats or something in your
Mm-hmm.
bag so you could get Ethan's meds into him. So, but
So he
yes,
got his
we ended
meds.
up dining outside.
Yeah, dining outside in the rain at
Uh-huh.
an outside of the restaurant was really closed, but he was nice enough to let us eat there. So
Yes.
leave
Yeah.
there, well after 9 at that point. Buzz back over to the store to get some kind of cheapo or the best dog food that they have, but at
Yeah.
the drugstore, that's not going to be anything much. Get some
No.
get some bad dog food. Uh,
That's all.
come back uh, and with the thought of all these plans, the next day taking off. So Monday morning rolls around, and I have
What what time did you leave there Monday morning?
so I left the hotel about 8 o'clock in the morning.
Okay.
So for
That's
Ethan,
about the time I started making my phone
yeah, so you
calls.
started making phone calls to find a better flight, which you did. You
Yes, I
found a
did.
flight that left from Washington D.C. at like 11:30,
Yeah, nonstop to
nonstop.
Louisville.
But
I
there,
felt terrible. I did. I felt so badly because I got the last seat, so I knew there wasn't any
we couldn't
seats.
have sat there, so it wasn't. So we left
But
at 8,
still,
and Ethan and I walked down to the metro. We took the subway, changed at one of the stops, caught the subway the um, uh, to the airport,
hmm
and got everything checked in just fine at the airport. Seemed busier than it's Chicago O'Hare, so you expect it to be kind of busy. And so I wanted to uh, take Ethan out to go to the bathroom. There's a really nice grassy area by the Hilton Hotel there, and wanted to get some, have him walk around for a while and hang out there, even if we were outside for a couple hours. And we were out there for maybe an hour or so, and he decided, like, he just wanted to come back in.
oh,
So we
did
headed
he?
in, and when I got inside the Chicago O'Hare Airport,
Uh-huh.
and I would say we were, and just because of the signs, let's say Terminal 3. It
Yeah.
was it was the busiest and the most chaotic I have ever been inside of an airport.
So worse than Atlanta that gets such
Oh yeah.
bad rap.
Oh yeah. This
hmm
this had 3 places for people to go through security. Standard security, TSA pre-check, and
Uh-huh.
TSA pre-check touchless.
Yes. Uh-huh.
The line for standard and TSA pre-check, when I tell you it went from one end of the building to the other, and it took me, I bet you it took me 45 minutes to find the end of the line.
Oh,
You
wow.
because you would ask someone and they would say, and meanwhile you're shoulder to shoulder trying to move through, trying to figure out what's a line, what's not a line. Are those people moving? Are they standing there? Are they waiting? Are they in line? Who knows? But you would ask someone at TSA and they'd say, pre-check is right there. But that was the entrance to pre-check. But the line went down to this end of the building, back down to
Oh,
this end of the
Jeff.
building and back. And so
Oh, my
you had no
goodness.
idea where this line started. And it just really made, and it was like that for both. Like the TSA faceless, touchless, was
Yeah.
that was pretty empty.
Uh-huh.
And
Uh-huh.
I guess TSA touchless is just maybe it's something like clear, where you don't,
Uh-huh.
you just use your face. I don't know.
Yes. Uh-huh. I'm gonna
I
check
got on my
into
phone.
that.
I got
Those
on my phone
lines are
trying to
good.
figure out how to get it while I was standing there.
Yeah,
Because
yeah. It's
meanwhile, we've been up since 8. Ethan's been
yeah.
we've taken the subway. We've been outside. He's ready. He's tired,
Well,
and
yeah.
thinking you're going to get through security, find a nice spot. Ethan can lay down, take a nap. But no, we just walk like 45 minutes to find the end of this line, and finally found the end of this
Oh,
line. And
Jeff.
so then it was another hour and a half of start stop with all, and there's all these people around. And so if we stop for any longer than like 30 seconds, Ethan wanted to lay down because
You're
he will.
sure.
Ethan he has since we adopted him. He when he wants to lay down, he just lays down. He
Yes.
doesn't.
Uh-huh.
He feels comfortable enough. He knows I'm
Yeah.
not going to put him in a spot that's going to endanger him at all, and he feels
Right.
comfortable enough in five
Yeah,
thousand
he
people.
just
He's just going to lay
yeah.
down.
Yeah,
So
he
I felt
does.
bad because he kept having to get up and move and get up,
Oh.
and it was, whew.
So it was 2 or 2.5 hours before you could even get to your gate?
Well, I'll tell you this: once we got through security, there was a bench
Yeah.
there, and I just went over there, and I just
Uh,
because I'm talking to him all the time anyway, and I'm like,
right.
just dude, we're just gonna lay right here. You lay here as long as you want to
Oh.
lay here. So we laid there at that bench for. I bet he laid there for another hour right there. Um,
Oh, poor
but I
baby.
will say this: there was
Mm.
I had one of the best conversations uh, all weekend or all in a long time. I'm standing there, or Ethan. I'm sitting on the bench. He's laying down in front of me, just on his side. And
Uh-huh.
this little girl comes over. Uh, she's got
Uh-huh.
she's got Down syndrome, and she comes over. She's got her backpack on. She's got this cute little yellow dress on, and she comes over and she says, "Hello, can I ask you what your name is?" And I said, "Jeff."
Oh.
She said, "Can I ask you what your dog's name is?" And I said, "Ethan." And she said, "Can I please pet Ethan?" And I said, "Yes."
Oh.
So I asked her name, and she told me her name was Layla, and that she had 3 dogs and a cat, and she told me all this information. And like I'm looking at her and I'm thinking she's probably traveling by herself. She's doing. And I said, "Are you traveling all by yourself?" And she was like, "No, my daddy's right over there." And so
Oh.
eventually her dad kind of wandered over, and she was so. She said she's going to look forward to the movie coming out. She's going to go to the theater to
Oh.
see the movie.
Oh.
Uh, and I wish I had thought about getting a picture, but we were. I was enjoying having this little conversation with her and her dad.
Yeah,
And
after everything you'd done, yeah, she was the little silver lining after all the awful waiting in lines.
so
So,
her dad came. They're super nice. And so I laid there, and eventually Ethan popped up, and I was like, "All right, it's time to walk." And we
oh,
walked. We would walk to one concourse and get to the end and kind of hang around down there, and he'd lay down. And when he popped up, we'd walk around a little bit
walk
more, go to
again.
another little end of another concourse, and he'd lay down there. Um,
Oh, oh.
I tried to catch. There was another flight that was leaving at 4ish, uh,
Yeah, out of
and
Chicago.
I got there right as they were just about, like, everyone was on the plane. They were just about ready to close the doors and ask him, "Hey, is there any, you got any extra seats on there?" And he was like,
Right.
"No, we even had some people that didn't make it because of standby." So,
Oh,
um,
so you were there for the long duration
so
till
we're there for
you.
the long haul. And here was another video. It's about a minute long, but hey, look who it is. Tabby and Ever South.
Oh, good.
So I also took. Let me see if this video will play too. I realized I had never taken one of these, and I don't know. It's about a minute long. I don't know if anyone's interested, but this was just Ethan getting on the last plane from. We always get on.
Oh, trying to get home.
Yeah, always get on last, so he doesn't have to sit on the plane any longer. We get on this plane, and it's funny because he always knows what seat to go to. And I didn't
Yeah.
record that part because I knew people, were sitting in their seats. But he always knows what seat to go to. He turned into the aisle and turned around and laid down, and I don't think he moved until the plane landed.
Oh, poor baby. Look at him. Oh. Huh.
So it was nice to finally, get back home.
Look at that boy. He knows exactly where to go, doesn't he? Oh,
So
that's
yeah,
adorable. But what did you all catch a good tailwind or something? Because I was watching your flight. I knew what time you all were supposed to get in. And I felt, like I said, I felt so badly that you all were going through all this because I just hopped on my nonstop flight and was
well, I
home.
think we got in a
Other
little bit
than
early,
my,
but it really didn't make any difference because I had to get my luggage, and uh, um, ours was the last suitcase to come out.
oh, of course, of course.
So
Why
we
wouldn't it be?
probably got
Yeah.
there 30 minutes early, but I stood there 30 minutes waiting for the.
Oh, goodness. Wow. Huh. Well, I was, as I was leaving the parking at Louisville, I had to pay extra because I'd already paid for the 3 day or whatever the charges were. Well, they charge us for three. Gonna have to pay the extra. So the lady told me what I owed. And you talk about kind people. After I got home, I thought, she overcharged me because they do have a $22 a day max on
Mhm.
parking. And she had charged me like $30 for the extra hours. So I got home and I thought, I'm not going to get the money back, but I'm just going to call them and just tell them that, they need to maybe check their policy or the person that's doing it because, oh, she had her calculator and it took her forever to figure it out anyway. And the guy gave me, I now know David, who is customer service and night manager for the parking at SDF, who was just, I will refund some of your money. I don't want this ever to happen. So it's nice when you meet those kind of people on the phone. They're out there. You just didn't catch your first experience with Matthew.
So
Just
my advice is if you're calling and you don't uh, you find someone that's not as helpful, just call back and get somebody else.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And
What's
the
interesting to
whole
me is
thing
when
after
it's interesting to me when you call because you're calling about something and that person says, I don't have the ability to do that, and then
then
you call back later and
and they can
someone in the
do it.
same position just does it no problem. Doesn't even think about
Right,
it. Hmm.
right. It's kind of like when I called American that morning, I had looked up on the flights and I saw that earlier nonstop flight. And when I called, and she said, "Well, I don't know if I can get you on that flight." And I said, "Well, there's an open seat. I can see it. It's, row whatever." And she said, "Oh, well, let me take a look." And she said, "Well, yeah, you're right. There's one seat." And I said, "Well, I'll take that one seat." And she was like, "Well, let me see if I can do this." And I'm like, "I don't know why you can't." And she did. She did. It took her a few minutes to work it all out. I never did get a boarding pass. That was the part that worried me because she kept saying, "Your boarding pass is in the system." And I said, I don't see it. I don't have it. It's not on my app. It's not on your page." She said, "Well, go to somebody at the airport and they will give you your boarding pass." And I was thinking, oh, worst case scenario, I'd have to wait till 7:20 to get on the other flight. But the boarding pass was okay once I got there. So
All worked out just good.
it
So
was an
back
adventure.
back home, that was definitely an adventure.
It was,
That was a
but it
picture I
was,
took of Ethan in the uh, inside the pet relief area, and eventually, I guess he
did he
realized
use
we weren't.
it?
Eventually, he realized I guess we weren't going back outside, And as I was talking to him, I kind of told him, "You don't want to go back out there anyway, because then we got to go back through that same security crap." But yeah,
Oh
he
my
eventually went to use the
goodness.
bathroom with the at the at the
Pet relief.
relief area. That was a nice young man. We went with the pet animal legal defense fund. There were some
Uh-huh.
folks. Uh, this was Ethan up on stage, getting
Yes.
ready to give a very important speech.
Oh yeah, his speech was wonderful.
There's us up on
Oh,
stage.
and your round table was wonderful. You did a great job. Of course, I knew you would. And that was very nice that they asked you to do that. So, yeah.
There you are.
Hanging out with Ethan was, I tell you what, I one more person cried though. We had Ethan's picture there, that awful picture of Ethan. But sometimes people need to understand and see what the abuse looked like. So that picture was on our table. If one more person cried, I don't know how many more times I was going to cry along with them because they'd see what Ethan had to suffer.
Yep.
Mm. And
Let's,
then look at him and say, "That's him now." And he
yep.
said, "Yeah, that's what love can do, and the right people." So
Let's
anyways.
see if this is a video or a picture here. Oh, this was just playing around.
Oh, that you've got the ball.
Oh yeah, that's it's not going to play right because it's a slow motion video.
Oh,
I don't know if I can
that,
speed it along. No, that
that's an interesting sound. Oh.
yeah, he won't. It won't play the video because I didn't fix
Well,
the.
he had some, just for people to find out, he had some fun in that big room. At times when there was nobody in there and you'd let him off leash and you and Ethan were playing games of catch and fetch. And he ran and played quite a bit too. So he was good. You trying to speed it up?
Oh no
That's
no no! I
Bluetooth
was getting
on.
sorry. I was getting a text message from my daughter.
Oh, that's okay. That's all right. We're
So
live. Those kind of things happen, right?
yep. So let's see. We have so that was that particular conference. It was very good. Met some very good folks there. Met someone on the airplane home that owns a place in Louisville. I don't think he would care if I told him. So I met a guy that owns Zanzibar, uh,
Oh, okay.
and they've done some fundraisers in the past with specifically like the Aero Fund for a few things. And so,
Okay.
in matter of fact, I talked to him for about 10 minutes before he realized that was Ethan. He had seen us walk
Oh,
around, the concourse,
yeah.
the plane. And so when we got on the plane, and it was really funny because he was next to us across the aisle. And like I say, it's, I don't know, it's weird. Ethan goes onto the plane and he automatically goes right to the same seat or the aisle that he knows that we're sitting in. Uh,
Uh-huh.
so we get on the plane. He gets in the aisle and turns around. And he was like, "Man, I saw you and that dog out there." And he was like, "That dog is so well behaved." I
Yeah.
just blows my mind. Like you see so many dogs, at the airport that just aren't like that. And so we talked for a few minutes, and I showed him a couple pictures, and that's when he realized,
Uh-huh.
like, wait a minute, that was Ethan from the shelter in Louisville. And I said, yeah. So
Uh-huh.
he knew him, and so we talked about some things they've done for the Air Fund. He said he'd love to put on some kind of thing for
Oh,
fundraising.
great.
So hopefully that'll pan out. I'll reach out to those folks.
That'd
Um,
be wonderful. Now all we need is to find somebody that knows Ethan's story that owns a private plane.
yeah, that'd be nice, wouldn't it? Yeah.
Yes, it would.
Or if
Just in
they
case of an emergency,
if they just wanted to donate the plane too, it'd be
Oh,
fun.
that would be wonderful. Goodness. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Everything went
that
super
was our
well
adventure.
until it didn't.
Yep, that was our adventure this weekend. We have coming up. I think it is August the 10th that the nominees for or the
Yeah.
semifinals for the Hero Dog Awards will be coming out. So we'll look forward to that. What else do we have? Anything else
Yeah, we
popping up
have
here? We got the car show coming
our
up.
show. Yes. Yes. So for all those that couldn't make it before because they had plans, well, now it's a new date, so hopefully you can make it
It is
15th of
rescheduled
August.
for August the 15th at
Mm-hmm.
1704 Grayling Drive, McDonald Land Car and Model Show.
Right.
August the 15th, same time.
Uh-huh.
But we'd love to have everybody out there for that. It's a wonderful fundraiser for Ethan Almighty's Blessings, and we thank all the folks that put on the McDonald Land Car and Model Show. And then we've got
Yeah.
um, uh, Blue Phoenix case this Friday in Scott County at 9 o'clock.
Right.
And Scott
Mm-hmm.
County is Georgia.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah. Did
So
you say
please come
something?
out, check it out. Just wanted
And
to
that's
give.
when we were the intimidating group, so maybe the intimidators can return.
Do we need? Tabby's asking. Do we have any vendor spots available for the car show? It wasn't Tabby. It wasn't something we weren't necessarily handling the vendors.
Yeah, we weren't in
Debbie
charge
Cook
of
was,
the vendors.
but if you're interested, we could reach out to Debbie, the other
Mm-hmm.
Debbie, and ask her. And well, we can get back with you, Tabby. Thank you.
Yes. Yeah.
Thank you
Yeah.
for asking.
I'll get back with you, Tabby,
Yep,
because
perfect.
I'll check with Debbie Cook. Yeah.
All right, I've got a. That was our weekend. I thought people might find it kind of interesting and just the
It
struggles we go through.
was.
And it just, it's still after all this time, still kind of sometimes just amazes me. We go through all that is so frustrating to a human. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
the delays and the stopping and starting in the line and all that kind of stuff. And Ethan, I couldn't be more proud of how he handles
Right.
everything that happens. He is a perfect gentleman. He loves for even through all that for people to come up and pet him and say hello and ask for pictures or whatever, whatever. Amidst all of that, you know, the,
Yeah.
the, the problem that I run into sometimes is when we're in big crowds like that and someone wants to stop to take a picture. I know we're holding up the people behind us, and so
Uh-huh.
yeah, hurry, we'll take it real quick. But I know the people behind us are like, why,
Right.
why are all these people stopping for this dog? And so I
Yeah.
just like to keep it moving, keep it moving. But it's always
Well, and
I'm
you have
very
to,
proud of I'm always proud
yes.
he handles himself.
And I said to Jeff, I'm always proud to be there to represent or do anything I can to help. But it's amazing how welcoming you are too to everyone, because obviously a part of the times you're in a situation that there are a million other things going on that you're dealing with too that they have no idea. They just want to see Ethan, and you're as gracious and patient as Ethan is. So shout out to you too, because there were several times that right in the middle of all of that, and you'd say, sure, sure, when they'd ask it for a picture. So,
Yeah. All right, so everyone stay tuned. Things pop up. We will let them know. I'm actually doing a podcast, like a national podcast here in just a little while this afternoon with one of the folks
great.
that we met at CrimeCon. So as soon as I get information about when and where that'll be released, I'll make sure that people can tune in and watch it. So,
Sounds good. Sounds great. We'll want to see it. Okay.
all right. So thanks everybody for tuning in. We'll put this out on not if you're watching, you probably won't listen to it later. But I'll put this out on all the podcast stuff a little bit later this afternoon. Thank you so much, Debbie.
Thank you.
Everyone
It was
have
a
a
fun weekend.
wonderful day.
Yeah. Okay. Bye bye.
Bye bye.